Rakuen Deluxe Edition. I have mentioned in previous videos that I love requests for games I may have not have heard of, and I got this request from Twitter back in March. I emailed the publishers to see if I could get a copy, and they sent me a code. So this review is for you, Noah. Thanks for watching. This is actually 2 games in 1, plus some bonus videos to watch. However, the main game is Rakuen, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong, and the other game is just a short side adventure. This was made in RPG Maker, and for the limitations of that program, they did a good job. I don't think I can ignore the elephant in the room though, as this has a lot in common with the game To the Moon. If you've never played To the Moon, I can't recommend it more. It does a great job of telling a story and has an outstanding ending, and the only game out there that I've ever happy cried at the end of it. Now this game really wants to replicate the emotions that title brings, but it overdoes it. If you've ever heard of the saying, when it rains it pours, that is the perfect way of summing up the ending. It's just too much being thrown at you at the last 30 minutes, and it loses a great deal of its intended emotional storytelling because of it. I am trying to be vague here. I don't want to spoil anything. Now the story is about a child who is in a hospital. He visits his neighbors and spends time with his mom. What he's sick with is never explained, but you do get an idea what it might be. His mom confides to him that the storybook that she's been reading to him, the world in it is actually real, and she gives him a key to make doors appear and make it so he can go to that other world. She goes with him on his journey, and they step through a door to a magical village. They find a guardian of the forest who, when awakened, can grant one wish. He has to help 5 people in order to do this, and he finds that the people in the magical world are also people that he met in the hospital as well, but they take shapes of different people or animals. As you solve the puzzles of the area, new doors will open and you'll be able to see the memories of the people that you're trying to help. The first person that you're helping, you're going to explore a locked up hospital. The second one will have you exploring a house. And even finding the guardian of the forest had you complete a cave with simple puzzles. These sections were so dragged out and dull. The only thing that would have made it worse is if they threw in random encounters, but there is nothing like that in this game. It was only interesting when we'd find another memory door to see the plot advance, and that would only happen occasionally. After I finished the second person, I was bracing for more of these sections, but it just didn't come. After that, it was just way more streamlined. It was such a strange and welcome departure from the gameplay of the first half of the title. That doesn't mean that they don't set up parts that could be dragged out, they just don't do it. Like when there's a water dragon that gave me a quest to find where the water had stopped, and I had to go into a cave to do this. And I was bracing for another bunch of puzzles in this cave, but it was just one screen up and I was there. I was so relieved. Now that doesn't mean they're not going to give you busy work, but they do make it less tedious. Now your character moves so slowly. I wish you could speed them up a little. There was no run button in this game and it needed it, because I would say this game would actually be an hour less if we didn't have to walk all the time. For the most part, you can't die in the title, except in a couple parts where you can actually drown. What normally would happen if you run into something that would hurt you, it would just reset you back to the beginning of the room. But if you time out in the water, it's game over. It felt like a harsh punishment out of nowhere. In addition to this game, there's also another one called Mr. Sato. It was very short. It was about an hour and a half, and a good deal of that was just walking back and forth and doing busy work. However, that being said, it did have the best production values. There is a whole song in that one. Now the other game does have snippets of songs, but this title has a real song in it, and while the lyrics were a little bit dumb, I appreciated the effort. In the credits it actually said that Toby Fox did one of the songs. The littlest and I both looked at each other and I just kind of said, yeah, of course he's in this game, because he's in every game. But what I've been told on Twitter from Noah, he was just repaying a favor to the creator, which was kind of cool. There are also 2 short movies and a trailer for them. The movies were not voiced, but they were impressively animated. It felt like they were made as a TV pilot for a cartoon series, and it was worth watching once. Rakuen Deluxe Edition is good when it comes to telling the story of other characters, but the amount of busy work and the frustratingly simple gameplay will try your patience. This is a very emotional game, and while I do think the story is good, the way it was told was kinda clunky. Now this is normally $24.99, but you get 2 games and a couple short movies, and I will say wait for it to go on sale, at least half of that price. It has good parts in it, but it also has some really sad parts in it. If you like To the Moon, this might actually appeal to you, but definitely get it on sale.